Okay, here we are for the I Saw the TV Globe movie discussion slash spoiler talk. If you haven't seen the movie or don't care much for spoilers, or if you haven't seen the movie, then don't watch this. But if you have seen the movie or don't care much for spoilers,
Mhm.
let's get right into it. I Saw the TV Globe, directed by Jane Schoenbrun. Uh, this movie premiered at this year's Sundance Film Festival and was available for people who did attend. I couldn't get an online ticket for it because it had already sold out quick by the time I tried. It also premiered at this year's South by Southwest Film Festival. And coming off of both film festivals, this movie was highly praised. You can tell by its Rotten Tomatoes score amongst the critics, it is well received, but amongst audiences, it's kind of divided, and we'll get into that a little bit. Uh,
What? I don't know what you want to say. It's Jane Schoenbrun. That's the name.
Schoenbrun.
Yeah. And also, I want to say in this stream, if I get the pronoun wrong, if I say she, I meant to say they. Because I think Jane said that the pronouns were she and they before, and then it's now they. So yeah. But if I say she back, you know what I mean. Because because in my video I try to make sure I say they every time, and then sometimes when I'm recording I say she back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Her previous work that she's done that I've only ever seen is We're All Going to the World's Fair, which also premiered at Sundance 2 years ago. Which that movie was a bit odd.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it?
No.
It's more into like the creepy pasta, that type of internet like horror based stuff, but I thought it was okay. It was a bit confusing. So
yeah, when I was editing my last video for this movie, I did see like the trailer and some clips from it. It just seemed way more sort of small scale, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like something that would be filmed during COVID, like with just like one actor and you're just following them.
Yeah.
And mostly interactions over the internet. But also in this movie, we have Justice Smith, who's recently starred in Dungeons and Dragons and the American Society of Magical Negroes, as well as who's the other actress, Brigette? Or,
I don't know. Brigette something.
yeah, I haven't seen her in much, but she was really good.
Well,
in this.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay if I switch screens here. You can still see me, right?
Yeah, I can still see.
Brigette Lundy-Paine.
Yeah. Oh, has she been in anything like notable or?
She was in. I think she's in a bunch of things. I think like one thing I was like, oh, she's in that is I saw her in the trailer. I never actually saw this movie, but she was in Bill and Ted.
Oh,
3.
yeah.
Like she was the daughter of, I'm assuming, Keanu Reeves. I've never seen any Bill and Ted. I don't know anything about her.
Oh, okay. She's been in Bill and Ted before. Okay.
Yeah, like the new one, not the old
one. Most recent Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
this is my first time seeing her. I thought she did pretty good.
Yeah, I think she did a good job. Yeah. It's a super like obscure role to take too, so it's good. Like some of the especially in this latter half of the movie. Yeah.
And we also have Fred Durst of former rock and rap group Limp Bizkit as Justin Smith's dad in this movie.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah. When I didn't notice it when I was watching it, because you usually see his face kind of from behind in the side.
Yeah.
In the car with him in the back seat, right?
Yeah. Even you only see his eyes through the rearview mirror.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that was him. Yeah, I looked it up and I was like, oh wow. Someone commented too, saying like, yeah, a lot of the casting actually was sort of references to the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed. Opening scene. So pretty much it opens with Owen, played by Justice Smith's character's name's Owen, but we see him when he's younger. 1996 is when it starts off.
Yeah.
We see the flap. We see him in the gym as they're pretty much in gym class, and we see a flap open up with them going under it. I don't know what game they're playing.
The parachute.
Oh, parachute.
You didn't do
I
that
know.
in
I,
elementary school?
I did. I just forgot what the name of it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just like that parachute where like all the air gets trapped in and then you're like when you're a kid it's fun. I don't yeah.
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 Uh, we
Yeah.
see.
But
Did you
that
notice?
like obviously ties into the whole like nostalgia thing too, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole like it's I was watching a bunch of interviews with Jane Schoenbrun and they were talking about a bunch of the influences for the film were 90s nostalgia. So that's why Fred Durst's in it, and that's why the parachute is in it, especially in the first half of the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. You were saying, go on.
Uh, yeah. The parachute. Did you notice the colors? The pink and
Yeah,
purple and white.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was the one different because usually it's more. I feel like the traditional kind of parachute in at the time was more. It was like blue and yellow and red and maybe
Yeah.
green. You know,
Yeah. Pretty much the traditional rainbow
yeah,
colors, and this time, this parachute's the trans colors.
yeah,
So I didn't notice it at first. It was until someone pointed it out on Twitter, and then I went and watched it
yeah.
a second time, and I was like, "Oh yeah, do you notice it?"
Wait, trans colors?
Yeah,
What do you mean by trans colors?
I thought
I don't know.
trans. Yeah, transgender flag. It's the light blue and pink and white. Yeah, blue, pink, and white.
This is called the transgender flag. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've not, I don't think I've ever seen the transgender flag before. Let me see. Trans. I see the blue, white, and the pink. Oh,
yeah. As well as also the first song that's played is I don't know the artist's name. It's UL or Yellow or something, but the song is "Anthem for a 17-Year-Old Girl," and that's the first song that's used in the
oh,
movie,
really?
as well as with
Okay.
the parachute being opened up.
Yeah, on in that scene.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so it's
That's
kind of giving like an allegory for transitioning or coming up to that identity.
yes.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
yeah, the first opening scene we see. Then we go straight into what it's election night, and that's when he meets Maddie.
Yeah. The 96, yeah, election.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 96. Yeah, that was Clinton and Dole. Yeah, 96.
Yeah,
He
for
meets
sure. Yeah.
Maddie reading a Pink Opaque book.
Yeah.
Yep, and for
Yeah.
oh, were you gonna say something?
Well, no, no, I was just gonna say he becomes really fascinated with the book because earlier in the film he was looking at clips of the the show, but just
Yeah,
the preview of it because he wasn't allowed to stay up and watch it. So when he saw her reading about it, he was really interested.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
talking with her, he learns it's an episode guide. She
Mhm.
goes on about how much she loves the show. And then
Yeah.
pretty much he's like, hey, I can't stay up past my bedtime. Bedtime's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting because it's interesting because Maddie is she's super cold, right? She
Yeah.
like in this moment she's a very cold personality, and of course it's because she has a protective shell because of her insecurity and her misunderstanding of herself. And she's a little older than Owen is at the time. Well,
Yeah.
always, I guess. But when he starts to show that he's interested in the pink opaque, she starts to open up to him as soon as she starts to notice how interested he is in the show. And
Yeah.
then that's when like they start to actually connect. Because at first she's like I'm just trying to read my book, but then you can see slowly how they kind of get more connected as he reveals that he's interested in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I guess he's like, yeah, Maddie goes, I have an idea. And I guess that's where we come up with the plan for him to sneak out and watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
As we see in a car ride back, they get home. He has his mom ask for him, hey, ask dad if I can go home. And even from that, again, did you catch like little snippets of what like the parents are saying? Because I hear her say he's a good kid. I'm thinking, well, that's pretty odd. Either they're talking about
Uh,
his friend or Owen himself.
Oh, at the election night?
Yeah.
I didn't hear parents in the background.
Oh no,
I
it's when they're going back home, and they get back home, and he's having his mom ask his dad, "Can I stay the night over at Jonas's house?"
Oh, and they're talking about the friend that he was lying
Yeah,
about going to see.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think I kind of remember. Yeah, they were talking about that. Yeah. So you're asking me, what were you asking me?
Did you notice anything off about like or did you happen to catch any of like what the parents were saying?
No, I didn't know. No.
Ah, because I do hear
I,
her say like something. He's a good kid. But I didn't know what in reference that was to.
oh, okay. I don't know. I think he just was. I think they were just saying he's like. I guess the two of them were sort of debating whether he should go. The son Owen should go to that kid's place, and if it was safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe there was something more to it. I just didn't catch. Yeah.
We pretty much get with pretty much from this scene we go straight to him being dropped off at Jonas's house. Him doing the I don't know if you've ever done this before or where like your parents behind you and you're like, okay, you can go. But he's
Yeah,
kind of doing that. He's like, hey, go. I don't need you
yeah,
to
yeah.
wait for me. And then as soon
I
as
was-
as soon as his mom leaves,
mm,
Owen goes straight over to Maddie's house.
yeah, but you can see also that, and I thought that was interesting. He doesn't actually go straight there because it's daytime when he's dropped off,
Yeah.
and then it's nighttime when you see him walking to Maddie's place.
Yeah.
So it's he went to the house of the friend that he was pretending to go to, but then during the day it seems like he just disappeared for a while. Like he just wandered around waiting for it to hit, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 p.m. when the show
Yeah.
starts, or 10:30, because the show started as soon as he walked in.
Yeah.
So he was just hanging around the suburbs for hours and hours and hours, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Uh,
catch that.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
yeah, because you see him walk across and it's still bright, and then by the time he gets to her house, it's already 10,
Yeah. He's
or
walking
it's
and then
already
it cuts
dark.
and it's nighttime. Exactly. Yeah. And then when he walks in, he starts talking, and then Maddie says, she says, "Shut up! It's starting." As soon as he starts to
Yeah.
talk, "Shut up! It's starting." So that means he arrived at 10:30 when the show starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Whenever the show starts, I think it was 10:30. Yeah. Cool.
Surprising fun fact that I learned from listening to a podcast: the actress that plays Maddie's friend is actually Mr. Melancholy.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
and yeah,
in
in
that
the show.
later scene.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Uh,
she plays a Mr. Melancholy and like the characters in the show, like
the
the
one smoking the
creatures.
cigarette, right?
Yeah, she plays the two dancing and then the clown one. It was weird. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You could never guess that.
Yeah,
How would you know? Yeah, but the makeup there was really cool. I like how the makeup with those demons and Mr. Melancholy too was purposely dated.
yeah,
It was purposely old school, which I thought was cool. And there was sort of some, especially when Mr. Melancholy came in. Obviously, I'm skipping way ahead, but I just wanted to comment on that. His face is so distorted. There's sort of
yeah,
some visual effects going on because the character is hallucinating that is looking at him. But I
yeah,
found that to be really cool. That was like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
yeah. When do we get to Owen's narration? Is it after he's already watched the show, or is
Yeah, I think it's yeah, when he's older, when he becomes Justice Smith.
oh, okay,
By the way, do I look like Justice Smith?
a little bit.
It's funny because I was making the thumbnail for my last video, and I was looking at, I'm like uploading I'm taking the picture from the poster or from the a screenshot or a set photo of Justice Smith, and I put his face on the thumbnail, and obviously I have to edit it to make it kind of blue and make it match, and
Yeah,
then I'm editing the image of his face, and I'm like changing, like just doing little edits, and then I'm starting to realize the more I look at him, I'm like, it's starting to look like me. And then and then when I was gonna upload, I was like, might think for a split second who haven't seen the movie, they might think
yeah,
that I'm putting like my face on the thumbnail. And then when I uploaded the video, I think just a few hours yesterday, last night, someone commented, "Oh, Lucas, you did a really good job in this movie. Like you did a really good job." I was like, I could feel that comment coming. Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, that's kind of
I can see it. Well, isn't
yeah.
Justice Smith also Canadian?
I didn't even know.
I know he
Also, I
started.
didn't know he was capable of that. Like, I didn't know he could act like that.
Oh,
Because the
Maddie.
first time I saw him was in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World 2,
Oh,
the second one, and he was playing this sort of cowardly character who screams all the time and whines all the time. And the movie wasn't good, so I feel like that was like a really bad debut for a really big film. And then yeah, he played that character, and then he was in Pokemon
yeah,
Pikachu.
yeah,
I never
Detective
saw that
Pikachu.
movie, but I thought that's what he does. He does that kind of stuff. But then when I saw him in this, I was like, oh wow, he actually does this. And then I looked at some other things that he was in, and I
Yeah,
said, oh, he's actually a dramatic actor too.
yeah, he's in the
Yeah.
Voyeurs with Sydney Sweeney.
Yes, yes, and exactly. And then yeah, I could really see that he's actually very talented. I realized, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool. It was good to see him in that.
Uh, where were we? Oh yeah. They just started watching the show.
Mm.
You can see the light and emulate on from the TV screen. It's glowing on their faces,
Yeah.
which I didn't take anything from that, but we'll get into that later.
Uh,
Uh,
oh, the
ap-
glow.
yeah, the
Yeah,
TV
the glow.
glows.
Well, the glow itself. Yeah, I think it's. Well, the glow itself. There are a lot of times where the characters have glowing stuff coming out of them and going into them
Yeah,
and in them. So that glow, and we'll talk about the final scene later, but and that's where it really comes out. But that glow, it seems, it represents what's in, like who they are inside. So when they watch the TV, that's who they see. They see themselves. So that's why the glow is sort of coming out of them because that's who they are beneath that tough shell that Maddie has and that like overbearing, crushing anxiety that Owen has. Yeah. So I think the glow is obviously it's in the titles, but it is.
yeah,
I noticed like very, very important. Yeah.
yeah. After they watch the show, uh, Owen goes to sleep at Maddie's. Do you hear Maddie say pretty much like, because it's kind of alluded to, she's like, if my dad catches you here in the morning, he's going to beat me up again.
Yeah. Break my nose again.
Yeah, break my nose again.
So they both have abusive parents. Owen's mom is good, of course, but um, Maddie's dad and Owen's stepdad or dad, I think dad is abusive too. Maybe not. I don't know physically, but
Yeah, I was going to say it's never alluded to, but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we do get a bit of a weird thing we'll talk on later.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, from here it jumps, I think, yeah, after this it jumps from 96 straight to 98.
yeah.
And is this when he starts narrating? Because or no, he starts narrating when he's an adult. No, he's narrating when he's adult looking back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
when he starts narrating. When yeah, it's 2 years later. That's what it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
he's in seventh grade, and Maddie says I'm in ninth grade, and then it's 2
Mm.
years later. So then he's a freshman, she's a junior.
Yeah, yeah. That was. Yeah, I think that's around the time. When does he start narrating? He starts narrating when she gives him tapes. That's when he
Yeah.
starts narrating. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Once she starts, because I like what I realized is when I started thinking back, she gives him, he goes to her house when he's a little kid,
Yeah.
and they watch the first or his first full episode of the show. But then he doesn't actually see her. They don't really talk.
Yeah.
She just secretly sends him the
Yeah.
tapes as like the episodes come out, and she writes messages on them. So they're almost
Yeah.
too afraid to communicate with each other, but they communicate through the show.
Yeah, because he started narrating right then when he gets to 98. Because he looks in the camera, he's like, Maddie started leaving the tapes for me in the AV club,
Yeah,
and I started to
exactly.
pick them up and see them. And then we get the transition which is really cool to see, was like all the little drawings and the
Yeah,
writings of all the tapes.
That
But
was
with
my favorite, or not my favorite, one of my favorite parts. Yeah,
yeah,
that
and then the
song too. I
music,
forget the name of it.
yeah,
Yeah. The song was good. It fit perfectly. And lyrically, I think I responded to your comment and said that lyrically, because you commented on the music, and I didn't
yeah,
talk about it in my first video. That the music it's almost like this sort of background narration of the whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah, which I found really cool. Like I liked how the lyrics in the songs sort of captured how the characters felt, but in a very subtle way, not so direct. Where it's like, okay, we get it. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then and I, like you said, visually the drawings of um the what Maddie was drawing on the tapes,
yeah,
I thought was cool how they sort of draw themselves onto the screen and then erase themselves, and then new ones come up
yeah,
and then new ones come in and other ones disappear. I thought that was cool as he's walking through the hallway. And he's by himself too, sort of throughout that walk as well, right?
yeah.
And then he walks by Maddie too
That
in
was
that.
Maddie. I saw that. I was like, is that Maddie or
Yeah,
is that someone else?
it is. Yeah, it is. And I don't know if he says something to her, but he walks by her and he walks by her, and it shows that that's all the communication that's going on
Yeah,
while he's so like alone and by himself. And so is she. I think she has one friend, but they're all alone. But that's sort of that's the community that they have, the show and each other, not even like personally or in person, in this
yeah,
distant way. So it's like sad. It's sad. The whole thing is it's very sad.
yeah. It's like a touch on loneliness. Like it's
Yeah.
touching on different themes and stuff throughout it. But even then, when the writing, Maddie writes, Isabella and Tara are like my family, and she underlines like family
Yes.
when in
Yes.
that sequence.
Yeah, I remember that specifically. It's almost like in the middle of the screen too.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that was good.
yeah. But I was going to touch on with the narration. It's
Mm.
I think Jane was paying homage to like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because in Are You Afraid of the Dark, it opens up.
Mm.
Have you ever seen the show?
No,
Have you seen Goosebumps, the show?
no,
Oh man.
I,
Well, pretty. Oh, Are
no.
You
My
Afraid
sister
of the?
watched those, but I didn't. She's a little. I think because my sister's a little older than I am, so
Mhm.
I think she caught those. I think I was just a little late to those.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, uh. It's because in Are You Afraid of the Dark, it's about a group of kids from different high schools who meet up in the woods and share ghost stories,
Yeah.
and they pour coffee creamer on the fire to make it go up brighter for whenever they're about to start their story. So then they'll start narrating. So that's what I'm thinking she's paying homage to. Because
Oh, which?
Justice Smith
Yeah.
has a coffee creamer and he throws it in the fire right as he's about to start
Oh, I
the
didn't even.
narration.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I think now that you're saying it, I don't the specific coffee cream. I don't think I ever knew, but the fire thing
Yeah,
that wait, is it?
yeah,
Are you
like
afraid of the dark? It's already afraid of the dark, right?
yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, not Goosebumps.
Not Goosebumps.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I very vaguely remember like that, seeing that around. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I was a little young. I think, but yeah. I remember. Yeah.
yeah. It's, on Paramount Plus if y'all have it up there in Canada,
Oh, it's there. It's there.
or it's on YouTube as well for free.
Well, yeah. Oh, like the actual full
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Oh,
Episodes.
wow. Do you think
So,
I would enjoy it? I don't probably not at this point in my life.
yeah, I mean it's kind of dated, kind of
Yeah,
because that's the parallel I was about to make with the show later on.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, Owen narrates that pretty much he leaves the tapes in the AV club. He goes and picks them up, and then we meet up with them, or we go straight from the school straight to them on the bleachers, or we go from Owen to straight to, or from Owen picking up the tapes to being with his mom.
Um, Owen picking up the tape. Okay, and then I think he's just watching the show, and then I think are they? Because yeah, they don't spend time with each other, do
Yeah, I think
they?
no.
They
Besides the
chat on the
bleachers,
bleachers, right?
yeah,
I'm talking about when they're outside on the bleachers, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So they chat on the bleachers, and then I think at that point he's just watching the show, and they're just giving tapes to each other.
Oh, okay.
I
Because then
don't. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but
we
and
do see
then
him
yeah,
with his mom at the fair, and he has a cotton candy. He's like,
yes, yeah,
how do you feel about that? And he spits on it and it dissolves. And she doesn't look too good because she has the bandana covering her head.
yeah. She's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So yeah,
we see him on the car ride back. He's asking, can I stay up past my bedtime to
yeah,
watch a show? He's like, your bedtime's 10:15. He's like, I
yeah.
want to watch the Pinko Peck. And then we see Fred Durst, who's playing his dad, isn't that a show for girls?
Mm, yeah. He said, yeah, he makes that comment. I think, yeah, I remember seeing an interview where Jane said that. What did Jane say? Jane said that I keep saying her, their father had the same sort of comments about the shows that they would watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have that kind of. There's a generational kind of disconnect sometimes between
Yeah.
children and their parents. Because you look at even my generation, like our generation, right? You have like people who watch anime
Yeah.
in their 20s and 30s and 40s and like that kind of age range, and anime is seen now as this like adult. It's almost I think I don't know if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. It almost seems more of an adult genre now
Yeah.
than a kids genre. And
Yeah.
when I was a kid, it's crazy because when I was a kid, I was made fun of by my friends for watching anime,
Yeah.
and it was for kids, and I was made fun of. Now I'm an adult, and it's cool if you watch anime. People are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you don't watch this anime? You should watch this one. Like, how do you only watch that
Yeah.
one?" And I'm like, "Wow, the tables have completely turned in
Yeah.
just 10 years." It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a crazy shift. But I
Yeah.
think she didn't say anything else about that comment. I thought it
Uh,
was supposed to be like trying to fit stuff into like a gender box, like, oh well, that show's for
of course.
girls and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah, I was talking about more the generational disconnect and the misunderstanding of one's children. But also, like you're saying, I think there is that gender, we categorize things, right?
Yeah.
Which is yeah, that happens all the time. So boys do this, girls do that, boys watch
Yeah.
this, girls watch that. But there are even me, if I say I like La La Land is one of my favorite movies, then
Yeah.
some people are like, okay, that's kind of interesting, right? But it's I don't know, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
I love Mean Girls. I'm obsessed with Mean
Wait,
Girls,
which
but
one? The old one or
the
the newest one
newest
that
one.
came out?
Oh, I didn't even watch the new one.
Okay, I didn't watch it
The
either.
one that just did it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But the original one. I think there's also a Mean Girls too. Not to go so off track, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, which is also just not worth it. But yeah, no, the one in the early 2000s, it's just to me, it's like a classic. It's just unbelievable. I feel like it's like as much praise and cultural significance that it has, I still think it is so underrated. I think
Yeah.
it needs to be put on the level of other classics, and it's not. I don't think, but that's a whole different conversation. I don't want to get into now, but yeah. Anyway.
She doesn't even go here.
Yeah. It's funny and it's yeah. No, sorry. Okay, I'm not. I'll
All
go
right.
back.
All right.
I say too much.
Uh, okay. We meet up with Maddie on the bleachers. Owen comes and talks to her. You're not hanging out with Tina anymore. And they end up having a falling out.
Mm,
He ends up asking her, hey, can I come and watch the Pinko Peck at your house again? And she's like, I like girls, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you? Do you like girls? I think I like TV shows. That's what he says.
People in my
Yeah.
theater, everyone laughed at that.
Yeah.
That was really funny. But and I like that. What I also love about film and I guess just comedy in general, is when you can take something that's sad and like tragic, like truly, but also kind of put a comedic spin on it where you're addressing the issue with it, but also in a way where there's it's sort of humorous. Like it makes you think, wow, this is ridiculous that people we're conditioned to sort of push ourselves away from who we truly are.
Yeah.
And then it results in us, the consequence of that issue is we say things that are so wildly ironic and so left field and so nonsensical to the topic that's what we end up saying. So that is funny. And I think that is, to me, is like super interesting and super effective in filmmaking. And I think that was a good example of that, where everyone laughs, but also
Yeah.
you think, oh, but there's a real issue beneath that funny thing that he just said. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And then he goes to them meeting up back at Maddie's house. They end up watching the show, but this time, when the light emulates right as the show starts, you start to see Maddie cry with the TV glow on her.
Oh, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, she's like, you just hear like the sniffles, and then you see Owen like look over to her, like, "You okay?"
She's
Crying. Yeah, well, right as they're watching the show, as the lights emulating on their face.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, because they go back and do watch it together later on.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. That's before Maddie disappears, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Then after, that's when she's like, "I gotta leave this town. I can't stay here. I'll die here."
Yeah.
Which, did you take anything from that?
What? Where she says she wants to go, run away?
Yeah. Well, because seeing her cry when the light was emulating on her face, that was like the first thing I noticed. I'm like, 2 years ago, when you see the first time they watch the show, she's like entranced. This time, it's almost like something's happening, like there's pain or there's hurt there.
Yeah. I think it's just I think it's what Jane was talking about too. They were saying that when you hold yourself in for so long, you may reach a breaking point. And I think for Owen, obviously, at the end of the film, we really do see that breaking point so late, after years and decades, actually, of his life. But with Maddie, it seems that I'm not saying that was the breaking point, but it seems like she was coming to it earlier, and then I think that's what triggered her to just abandon society. She was like, I just can't take this anymore.
Yeah,
because then after that's when she disappears, right?
She's like, "Me and you will run away. Don't tell your parents." And that's when Owen's like, "No, I don't know about all that."
Yeah. And that's when you start to sort of see the sort of divergence of their paths.
Yeah.
Because at first they're like in separate places, and then she's reading the book and he sees her, and they meet, and now they're kind of doing their thing. They're kind of separated still because he's giving him tapes, but they're sort of on the same track, watching the show, identifying with it, and dealing with their loneliness. And then eventually, they get to a point where Maddie's like, "No, I can't do this anymore. I'm out." So she disappears, but he thinks, "I can't do that. I'm too scared to do that. I don't want to do that." And he sort of stays within his shell for decades and decades, right? So, and I think also if I can expand on this, I think once in the next scene, we see that the TV is on fire, right?
Yeah.
And she's gone. The TV is on fire. The mom of Owen dies around exactly like a few weeks later. Around that, in the same scene, he's talking about it, and then the show gets canceled.
Yeah.
So all these things happen at once. The show gets canceled. His mom dies. Maddie leaves. The TV's on fire. Right? There's 4 things. Those to me all indicate this shift in their lives, like this shift where the youth and the childhood and the nostalgia and all the comfort of childhood is sort of like dissipating into the past, right? And we've now sort of shifted into where you got to leave that, and now we're into sort of the cruel world of adulthood where we're way less forgiving. But still, at the same time, saying that their childhoods, both of them, their childhoods were not good. Their childhoods were also cold and cruel. So just that element of comfort is that one piece of child where like there are some elements of childhood that are comfortable, like living in the house, not having to
Yeah,
work, those kinds of things, like those are there. But now you're put into another level of isolation because now it's
yeah,
like, hey, you got to work, you got to pay for stuff, you got to be responsible, and now there's all these things, and now you have to develop, you have to meet someone, you have to like, there's all these pressures that society puts on people in adulthood in their early 20s, their mid 20s, late 20s. That's tough.
yeah,
Early 30s can be really tough if things didn't come together in the traditional societal way. So that most like people that are not part of the queer community already feel,
yeah,
those get put on top of them too. And now that, so the TV burning is, yeah, there's no more of that. The show is canceled. There's no more of that. His mother's gone. There's
yeah.
no
There's no
more of
more
that.
like comfort. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
more comforting love because like his
yeah,
dad's kind of cold and stern. So
yeah. And then in the next shot, it says 8 years later, like maybe not
yeah,
the next shot, but like the next scene, it's like it's right after. And 8 years later, he's at a job and he works at a movie theater
yeah,
and he's ordering food, and all of it is, these are things that when you're a kid, they seem like it's like a fantasy land. When you go to the movie theater, when you're 6 years
yeah,
old, 7 years old, you go to watch Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you go in the theater and you get your popcorn, oh, it's so good. And you get your soda, and you're like, oh, I'm drinking Coke or Sprite or whatever. You're like, oh, it's so good. And then you see the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man, these older superhero movies, or these things you want to, Shrek, whatever, as a kid.
yeah,
And then you go, and then fast food. You go to McDonald's. Your dad's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to McDonald's this weekend because because it's Friday or whatever. We're gonna
yeah,
go." And then you're like, "Oh yeah, McDonald's," and you're excited to go. And then there's the play place at McDonald's, and then and there's all these things that are so, they seem so wonderful and vibrant and dreamlike when you're a kid, and then you see him sort of re-experiencing those things as an adult, and they're just so much more dreary. All the
yeah,
joy and all the wonder is just completely removed. He's in this like playhouse, I guess, that's part of maybe the theater, like birthday party section of the theater,
yeah,
and the balloons are deflated, the colors are way less vibrant, they're so much more washed out. And then he's in the theater, he opens the door to
yeah. On
the,
his manager.
yeah, and his manager's getting, doing his thing. And
Yeah,
then yeah, so there's, and then he orders fast food,
yeah,
and
and then
and
the him trying to order and then the other person talking at the same time.
yes, and it's kind of cutting out, and he's just trying to get some, and it's like all these things that when you're a kid, they seem like the most awesome thing you're looking forward to all week. Now he's doing that on every day, and it's not that anymore. It's like, no, this is not that. This is adulthood.
Yeah,
So yeah, sorry, I went on with that, but I felt like that, I think, was, to me, the most, when I think back, was the most pivotal moment in the movie in terms of going from childhood to adulthood. Yeah.
yeah. Also, him being socially awkward and inept. Because
Yes.
him trying to, yeah, because his boss is like, huh, did you like what you see? Hey, Owen,
Yeah.
look at me. Like, and the fact he's looking
Yeah.
down, he's not
Yeah.
talking much, he's eating.
Yeah. I got
Because,
friends with that same kind of issue too, where they've it's happened to them where they kind of can't really look at people that they're speaking to. They just kind of look down and look
yeah,
away. So yeah, I can, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's real.
yeah. After he leaves his job at the movie theater, he's driving down the road, and a down power line is in the road.
Mm,
Uh, he ends up getting out and sees that there's snippets of a Pinko Peck episode guide on the ground
yeah.
that he picks up, gets back home after I guess they clean up the road or he takes a different route. And this is
Mm,
when we see like a full face of Fred Durst with him looking stern and him apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. Even though he's like in his
mm,
20s, I'm sorry I'm late.
yeah.
It was a down power line. And like him just looking like, which I was like, why is he looking at him like he's mad or something?
Yeah. I didn't find that scene funny, but now that you're saying it that way, I'm like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he say anything in that? I can't really remember.
No, he just looked at him.
He just looked at me.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. We jumped to
Yeah.
him at the grocery store getting vegetables, and then we're introduced to Maddie coming back again.
Yeah.
Which the way she was standing and looking reminded me of the ending of Sleepaway Camp, which is a 1983 horror film, and it ends with like a freeze frame of a character looking a certain way, and that's like a
Oh,
reference I kept thinking.
I've never seen Sleepaway Camp, but is that where there's that girl with she's like dark hair, she's like a teenager kind of, and she's like
Yes, that
that,
one.
right? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's the image. That's the image I immediately got watching it the first time. I was like, bro, that's a
Oh
reference.
yeah. Oh, where she's oh, I didn't even see that. But someone did. Was it you who mentioned the Sleepaway Camp in the comment section?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even that movie's also a bit of a trans allegory as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
I
a
didn't know
way.
that. I've never seen the movie. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's a classic.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that.
We see Maddie come back. They pretty much end up reuniting. She's like, hey, we can talk somewhere. We're then taken to this bar where we get a claw machine we get 2 live performances by Phoebe Bridger and Sloppy Jane for
Mm-hmm.
Claw Machine. And the opening
Mm-hmm.
line of the song is I Saw the TV Glow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of those 2 performances that we get? Because it's like the movie just stops. Yeah, it's like the movie just stops and just does 2 live shows.
Yeah, well, they're kind of interchanging with the dialogue between Owen and Maddie. But yeah, there are moments where the song is just playing. Like it'll cut to the song.
Yeah.
It'll cut to the characters talking and the song is in the background, and then it'll cut to the performers, and then you'll just be watching the performers for several seconds, like a very long time. You'll be watching them do the song, right? So, but of course, that's the most clear moment to me where what they're saying in the lyrics are significant to what's happening in the movie. So you have that first one where I can't. It's hard for me to remember the first one with Phoebe Bridgers as much, but where they're talking. What are you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's the first one. It's Claw Machine is the song.
Yeah,
That's the one that opens with I Saw the TV Glow.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of what they said in the song. But all I know, I can't recollect the exact lyrics, but I know they were talking about kind of similar to the first one we heard when he's walking down the hallway and we see all the tape drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
More about just a feeling of being lost and feeling trapped and not knowing what to do. Like I feel like that's sort of what that one was about mainly, from what I can remember. And then the next one, especially as the conversation between Owen and Maddie escalates, the next track is sort of like a metal track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a pop metal. I think from what I can't really remember completely, but she's screaming and she's saying something about being, I don't know, like just scarred or trapped or something, and it's like much more angry, and it's
much more intense and in your face.
It's like this feeling where I guess Maddie's feeling it, and I guess Owen's kind of feeling it a bit too, where it's like we're getting to the breaking point. Like we're getting to the point where something needs to happen. Something needs to change.
Yeah, and then as those performances are going on, Maddie's asking, "Do you remember what happened in the last episode or season 5, the season series finale, pretty much because we didn't get a 6th season of the Pinko Peck." And pretty much he's recollecting and remembering everything that happened, and then he's narrating everything that happened. The characters in the Pinko Peck meet their demise, and it just ends, I guess, in a bleak note or in a bleak manner, and Owen's like traumatized from it, just seeing it happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and from this we get the visual scene of him we get the visual scene of him, his head, his body's in the TV, his dad's coming down stairs because he's hearing smoke. And he's trying to take his head out the TV, and then he starts coughing up static vomit, and then it just comes back to reality, where they're both talking in the bar.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's that. He sees that episode, and the episode, does it play as Maddie's describing it? Is that how it kind of worked?
It plays as Owens describing it because Maddie's like, "Do you remember what happened in the final episode?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we go to Owen narrating everything that happens.
I see. Okay, so he puts the tape in. He's talking about it as it kind of plays out as we see Tara in the unburied, right, alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
and then we
yeah,
see yeah, and then we see Isabel. Of course, and we see Isabel. What is she? She's being like tortured. She has her heart cut out. Right? Oh,
yeah.
was that a thumbs up symbol?
I don't know.
Yeah, she has her heart cut out. And then she's sitting in a chair, and that's when Mr. Melancholy comes out, right?
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, what did you think about that?
that was a pretty crazy show ending. I was like, "Dang,
Yeah,
this."
no, it was wild. I think, I think, because that scene to me kind of shows what each of them are going through. Because obviously Tara is, I always say Tara, it's pronounced Tara, but Tara is Maddie, Isabel is Owen.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
because Tara is completely gone, and besides the little connection we see of her calling, like that's
mhm,
it for her. Like we still follow Isabel as she's going through the whole process.
yeah,
Much like
exactly.
Owen, we still follow him.
Yes. So yeah, she gets buried alive, and then and then Isabel is put into this wherever she is, and her heart's taken out and is put in
Yeah,
this fridge. And then she's poisoned and she's messed with, and her memories are taken away from her. And yeah, you can very clearly see the parallel between Tara and Maddie, how Maddie kind of disappears too. She even talks about burying herself as well.
yeah,
And then you have Isabel, who's being tortured and just is still alive, but is just being like destroyed by those around her, her demons essentially, right?
yeah,
And Owen, it's the same thing. Like he's still alive, but his heart figuratively is, it's been cut out, and his life is just torturous. You can't even enjoy it. He's alive. He's just living.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's just alive going through life. So that
Or a
yeah,
passenger.
exactly. Yeah, he's just there. So you can see that parallel of that final episode. And that's that final episode, not the final episode of the show intended, of course.
Yeah,
I don't think any like kids teen show would end that way. That was supposed to be the final episode of a season where I'm sure when the next season comes in, some sort of vengeance is taken, right? Or some sort of like uplifting, moment. But I think, yeah. And then and then the show's canceled, and that I think kind of ties in with the movie too, where it's not a happy ending either with the movie. The characters end up in both like very unfortunate places.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but you saw my video too,
yeah,
where the next film that's coming out is not. And I hope people didn't think when I said trilogy, I meant a chronological linear trilogy where Owen is in the first one, and like not that.
yeah,
Different characters, different movies, but they're about thematically, they're linear thematically, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So the next one will be where we actually see some sort of I don't want to say redemption. I don't think that's the right word, but we're going to see some sort of actual discovery of oneself within themselves,
yeah,
and embracing that, and being like Jane. You look at Jane and how they've sort of transitioned from the Owen's life to this life that Jane is living now.
yeah,
So that's and that makes me more hyped to see the next one.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of what I got from
I
that
forgot
one.
to
Yeah,
touch on. I forgot to touch on the fact. The second time they're watching the Pinko Peck when
yeah,
before Maddie leaves, she draws a symbol on the back of his neck.
yes, the ghost thing, right?
Yeah, and then as well as during the conversation, we get quick like splices and couple seconds of I guess that's going back into the past where she's where Owen's trying on clothes. and
Yes.
we get quick little interspices of that, which I didn't get what that was supposed to mean. I guess it's
Uh,
supposed to be him
where Owen's
trying
wearing
stuff, or
the clothes.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I guess I don't know. I feel like you can take that scene sort of two ways in terms of like narrative writing, like story wise, right? So, because at the end, not at the end, but like kind of later in the film, Maddie is talking to Owen about how they've always lived in the Pink Opaque. That's always
yeah,
been their reality, right? But then Owen is saying no, and we're seeing the film more through Owen's perspective, right?
yeah,
And Owen saying, no, we grew up watching the show, and that's just what we use to identify with who we were. Right? But so when you see those scenes, those cutbacks of him trying on the dress, you're thinking, okay, that could be Maddie's perspective, and I think it's subjective, however you want to take it. I don't think there's any definitive answer, but you have Maddie who is saying, no, that's us living the world, like that's us living.
yeah,
You're Isabel, you're not Owen, you're Isabel.
yeah,
Um, and you see them actually look at Mr. Melancholy in the real sky.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
one perspective. But then the other perspective is Owen is just that's the first moment where he actually takes a really big step, a really big courageous step to explore his sexuality or explore his identity, right?
yeah,
And put a dress on, right? Yeah. And
yeah,
also there's a little when he's walking through the hall and you see those little tape clips or those
yeah,
little tape drawings, there's a moment where it says Isabel.
yeah. Isabel's magical dress.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's there's no answer. Yeah.
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 From the bar, we go to him meeting up at the planetarium with Maddie. Herb, I think, I don't know how they got into the school. It's poor security at that school, but they're able to blow up the whole planetarium thing in the gym.
Yeah.
And she's doing a monologue about how she buried herself alive. She's
Mm.
in the show. She's meeting Tara, and it's Mr. Melancholy. And Owen's just looking at her like, she's kind of crazy. I'm still going to stick around. Like, nothing's changed, really. It's just the suburbs.
Mm.
Did you happen to catch what she happened to be saying during that whole time? Because I was just confused during that time.
Uh, well, yeah, I think she was talking. Well, she was just basically telling him how. Oh, yeah. There was another like story she told about where she's been, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
went to New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So basically, she drove away. Yeah, yeah. You know the story.
she went to like New Mexico under a false name, got a
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
doing something, paid a guy to bury her alive.
Mhm,
She tried to crawl out but couldn't,
mhm.
and from there I just don't remember what else happened.
No, but then she did, if I'm right, she did crawl out, but she crawled out in the pink opaque, like she was in the pink opaque world. Um, yeah, she crawled out in the pink opaque world, I think, and then she's basically saying that's where they belong. That's where they've always been. Yeah, I feel like my recollection is kind of disappearing now, but I think you're right. Yeah, so she went full
Yeah,
on in the pink opaque, like she was there, and she's telling Owen that's where we belong. That's where we need to go.
yeah,
So and then she's saying that's why we need to go to the football field and bury ourselves, and we'll
yeah,
come out in the world we belong in. So yeah, I think that's yeah, and ultimately I think what she's saying, the way I look at it is I see two people that have dealt with a really significant issue that's almost impossible to overcome at that time, because they've dealt with it in two different ways that don't solve the situation. Like they're not
yeah,
solutions. They're not like they're not practicals, or they're not I don't even know the word. They're just not successful solutions. What the two of
yeah,
them have come up with, and you can't expect them to come up with a successful solution when their entire community and their entire world, like the real world that they live in, doesn't even want like is telling them that who they are is completely wrong.
yeah,
So you have Maddie, who her solution is she sort of escaped life. She's just living in that world completely. She says, I don't want anything to do with the real world because the real world doesn't want anything to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live in the pink opaque where they want. That's where I belong. So there's sort of this delusion that's taken her where she is, and then you have Owen who takes the opposite direction and is like, no, let's we live here, so let's adjust, let's
Yeah.
conform, let's become part of the society that we were born in, and let's learn to just categorize ourselves into the either one that we don't fit in, but let's just do it because that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and at this, like, of course, in 2024, you can tell both solutions are not the right way to go
Yeah.
because you're either going to end up, I guess you could even say Maddie committed suicide. That you could say that too if you wanted to.
Yeah, because we don't see her
Personally,
again.
personally, that's kind of what I think it was saying, right? And she's just now she's there. Yeah, wait, you want to say something?
I was gonna say yeah. Yeah, because he's just like it's just the suburbs. There's no magical place or any of it. It's just a show when they're on the football
Exactly.
field. Then he pushes her, and she's like, "You need to bury yourself alive, and then come out, of the hole a different person who you truly are."
Mhm.
That's when he pushes her down and runs away.
Yeah.
Time passes, and he said, "For I thought I would run into Maddie again, but we don't see Maddie anymore after that." And there
Yeah.
is a scene where we come back to the ice cream truck, but as like the camera's panning up towards the ice cream truck, you see on the ground in all capital letters, "There's still time." Like it's written out in
Mm,
pink. There's still time on
yeah,
the
on
ground.
that, yeah, on that, um, on that chalk, or sorry,
Yeah,
in chalk on
yeah,
that
the chalk.
road
Yeah,
that we kind of saw. I think it was the same road that we saw at the very, very, very beginning.
yeah,
Yeah, with the ice cream truck and all that stuff.
yeah. There's still
Um,
time.
yeah, and that's essentially like the message. I think it's, you know, you can make the transition. You can find yourself. Like you can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. There's still
But
time. Like you don't have to
yeah,
rush anything.
yeah, but you can't. But you can't expect someone to. And I think that's what the film's saying too. You can't expect someone to find themselves when the world is telling them that that person who they truly are, that they're looking for,
Yeah,
is doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist, right? So yeah, it makes it challenging when the whole world is saying that shouldn't exist.
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that's no. Yeah. Is that the end of the movie? No. There's more.
We're about to touch on the end.
Yeah.
From there, he doesn't see Maddie. I think it skips like a couple years,
Yeah.
and his father passes away. He
Yeah.
inherits the house.
Yeah.
Uh, he has a family because he says that, and I have a loving family, and I love him very
Mm,
much. He gets a flat
mm,
screen TV or a smart TV, and
mm.
streaming is now a thing. So I'm
Maybe
assuming it's the
streaming.
early 2010s. Yeah, and he's like, I watched the Pink Opaque again, but it's far from what I don't remember,
Mm,
which can also play on a lot of like the 90s nostalgia of like watching Buffy or Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or
mm.
recently I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about Return of the Living Dead, which is
Mm.
a zombie movie from the 1980s. And when
Yeah.
like I watched it as a kid, like it was the
Mm,
scariest thing ever. I remember not being able to sleep. I was so scared.
mm,
But then watching it as an adult, you're like, it's cheesy, it's dated,
mm.
and that. And he even mentions that too. Like when I watched the show, I noticed it was all cheesy and dated and not really that scary at all. And we
Yeah.
end up seeing it too because in the show we see the monster, the ice cream monster, and he looks terrifying. But
Mm,
as like you watch it, like as Owen's gotten older, it just
mm.
looks cheesy.
Yeah, it's like different characters too, and like a different. Okay, honestly, can I say something about that scene? I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity. I feel like that scene where he's watching, looking back and streaming it.
Yeah,
I feel like you could have done something way more cool and subtle and creative with that. I feel like what you could have done, don't have new actors and new characters and all new. That I feel like that's too far apart from what we first saw. I feel like show it, but make it remind us of what I'm hearing myself. This is weird, but I'll try to adjust. Okay. Show the scene, but change it subtly so it's corny. Like have Tara and Isabel there. Have
Yeah.
the melancholy there. Have all that stuff there. But when they talk, like when they do dialogue,
It sounds bad.
the acting's bad. And like the dialogue is not written well.
Yeah.
And the music is like something you pulled off of MP3, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I saw that scene in the theater, I was like, oh, you could have done something like you could have captured what it feels like to watch something when you were a kid and it was so cool. And now you watch it like 20 years later and you're like, why did I think that was so funny or so cool? Yeah, personally, I felt like that was a missed opportunity. That's what I would have done as a director. But hey, I might have missed the execution. But that was my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could have been subtle. Oh, that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like if
I
they
immediately
acted
noticed.
that would have been so good. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, because you can go back and look at a lot of stuff from like a lot of the first seasons of like some shows from the 90s and 80s that end up growing a cult following now. It's like you go back and it's like the first 3 seasons of Buffy, they're pretty bad. Like it's good, but it's just bad.
I never watched the show, so I don't know. But I can see what you mean. Yeah, I saw some clips, and the special effects are dated, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just But anyway, yeah, it was still really well done though.
Yeah. We go from him watching streaming to him now. I think we jumped 10 years, so it's the 2020s, and he's now the movie theater is closed. He works at a arcade entertainment place with his former boss now being his old boss at the movie theater brings him over to the new place, which I found, which a lot of people have pointed out. This scene is the funniest thing because Owen is now older, but he looks like he's like very old, like in his 50s. Like he's wheezing. He has like dry lips, so like his hair's thinning and turning gray, but like his boss from like 15 years ago looks the same.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. I didn't catch it. But now that you say it, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
It's because like he has a croak and he has like an old man walk and he's hobbling around and like his boss is like literally the same age and full of energy.
Yeah. I gotta. If only I could watch the movie. Well, I'm sure it'll hit streaming soon.
Yeah. We see them going to a kid's birthday. They're singing "Happy Birthday." His boss comes in, "Happy birthday, everybody!" And then they do it, and then he does it again, faster, louder. Yeah. And that's when it happens. That's when everyone just stops, and that's when Owen freaks out and starts screaming, and then everyone just is like frozen in time. And someone's likened it to having like an anxiety attack or having a panic attack where you feel like everything around you is just frozen, but you're freaking out, or time staying still, and he's going through like his thing.
Yeah.
And we do see when he's having his freak out, he's crying for his mom. Mommy. Yeah, you can tell too. Like a lot of what you were saying earlier, all the shift, the fact that like his mom dies, the show's canceled, all of that just boils up, and that's his breaking point.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. That's yeah. Everyone was frozen too. I thought that was cool that everyone was frozen.
Yeah. He breaks down. He goes to the bathroom. We see him cut open his chest and pulls out and opens and static. Which, what were your thoughts on that scene?
I think it's kind of what I was saying earlier. I said it in the first video I was doing, but obviously I couldn't talk about that specific scene because it wasn't a spoiler video. But I was saying that the pink opaque, the title, of course, right? Pink opaque is the pink that like you can't see through, right? Opaque is the opposite of transparent. So the pink opaque is you inside. That's you. So that TV glow that you see in the TV it's you. Like that's what you see. So of course, if we're gonna capture or signify what the pink opaque is, like push that metaphor further. Let's take the glow from the TV and have it be in the bodies of the characters to indicate that the glow of the TV reflects what's inside them. So when he cuts himself open and he opens it, you see like
Yeah, static.
the TV, right? What's on
Yeah.
TV. So yeah, and that's why like when he's throwing up, like you said earlier, he's throwing up static.
Yeah.
His head is in the TV, and it's all like, oh,
Yeah.
there's just such a visceral connection that to the point where it's like biological in the movie, obviously, where they connect. Yeah, where that's who they are. So I thought it's a perfect way to end the movie, considering everything that's happened before that. It's a perfect way to. It's like a moment where he's like, oh, like I let go for a second.
Yeah, he's letting go and just opening up himself, I guess.
Yeah. So that was good.
He comes out and he's apologizing. He's walking past people saying, I'm sorry for freaking out. I'm sorry for freaking out. And had read something online, because we do see earlier in the movie, Owen apologizes to Maddie when they're kids or when they're younger. He says, don't apologize for, or something along the lines of don't apologize for being you. So we see him apologize and then he stops and he just keeps walking and then it ends. So I read something online that I think Jane had said that it's pretty much Owen embracing like who he truly is, and he's now just being who he truly is. He's going to be unapologetically himself. So he's not going to apologize for who he is, what he's being, anything. So it's pretty much like him, like his first steps towards, like, I guess, getting to know himself, his identity, his sexuality, and loving himself. So it's like the first steps is like.
I see. Makes sense. Yeah, because that means it's not too late. Basically, what was written. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even catch that. I just thought that like I know I'm wrong now, but what I thought before was he had a moment where he revealed himself and he reflected with who he was and opened up for a second, but then he just thought, okay, no, I'm not going to do that ever again. Yeah, but
almost
no,
like there's shame to it.
Yeah,
almost like he's feeling a sense of shame.
Yeah, and he is, of course, when he's apologizing. But like you said, at the moment where he kind of stops doing it, I can see how it's not a happy ending, obviously, but a somewhat hopeful ending.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. That's a good point, and I'm glad it was subtle too, where it wasn't just overbearingly obvious. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
People in my theater liked it too.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a more like I'd say hipsterish kind of theater, and I feel like that theater, those audience members that when I go to that theater, I feel like they're a bit more open-minded with films that they watch. They have a bit more of a taste towards art house. So
that's how
the right audience.
Yeah, that's how the theater when I first went to go watch this was. It's at Alamo Drafthouse, which is more like not upscale in price or anything, but like upscale in like its experience. Like the people going there are really into movies. The way the movie theater conducts itself is really professional, better than like an AMC or Cinemark or Regal here in the States.
Yes, yeah. Here we have Cineplex, which is like our AMC.
Oh, okay.
But it's worse than AMC from what I hear. And but that specific it was still Cineplex, but that specific location, that's where the right crowd sort of shows up for it. But yeah, if it was playing around like where I live in the town that I live in, and this community saw it, I think a lot of people would say that was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I actually like this movie a lot. Better than We're All Going to the World's Fair for me. I actually like the fact that she actually did a Q&A on this one. My theater, she did a Q&A question and answer that was recorded from, I think, South by Southwest. But this one, the fact she was able to go more in depth about like, this is my inspiration. My inspiration was Buffy. pulling 90s nostalgia and getting Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit to come on. That was really cool.
Yeah. That would have been sick if I was there. I'd be so hyped. After seeing it too, it'd be sick.
Yeah. Because they did the Q&A after. And then before the movie started, they had did some little presentation thing where it's like, yeah, we're going to do a Q&A after. But it was already recorded and stuff. But it was still cool to get, like, as soon as the movie finished, it went straight to the Q&A. It didn't even do the credits. It went straight to the Q&A. So you get, like, a little thing about this. I'm excited to see what her next, her third film will be. Or her next film will be.
Yeah, someone commented the title of it, but I forget what they said. The title's out. Just it's an easy search. The title's out. I forget what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Something teens. Okay, I'm not even gonna say this. I'm not gonna say the title because I feel like it'll affect the video. So I'm just not gonna say it.
Okay.
But there is a third one. The title is out, or what did I say? Yeah, there will be a third one. The title has been revealed. Yeah.
Okay. They haven't started filming or anything yet?
I don't think so.
Do you know if A24 is going to be behind that one or no?
I have no idea. All I know is the title, but I'm assuming it should be A24.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe it won't be. But I don't know. Whatever. Whoever produces it, I don't really care. I just am interested to see. As long as Jane gets to do their vision of what they want, then I'm happy. It doesn't matter.
That's good. That's it, folks, for the spoiler discussion on I Saw the TV Glow. Be sure to bring you another one in June for whatever movie we decide to cover. But be sure to leave your comments on what you think of the movie if you saw it, if you love it, what parts did you not like about it. Were there any nitpicks for you?
Nitpicks? Nitpicks, like things I didn't like?
Yeah.
No. No. Just that one thing I talked about earlier when he streamed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That's it. No, nothing. And also, I'm not saying that this is the best movie I've ever seen, the best movie of the year.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the movie, but I think I'm more. What intrigues me more and what I'm more compelled by is the message itself and how that message was communicated. I think that was something just so fresh, something so like a breath of fresh air, right? So
yeah.
I think that like there's a beauty to. There's so much intention behind this movie, and there's so much beauty to that intention that I couldn't help but appreciate, and it made me enjoy the movie.
Yeah, and I'm glad Jane made this because this year, out of all the movies I've seen, I think only like between this and Challengers being like two movies where you can see directors actually put their stamp on it. I mean, Furiosa as well, but that's George Miller's already been working on Mad Max for almost like 40 years. But like something that's new and fresh, like a Challengers. When have we seen a sports erotic drama like that?
Exactly.
Or even this, I Saw the TV Glow, where now you're seeing a director. Did Jane also write this herself, or?
Yeah, writer director.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like she wrote this, so it's not being adapted from anything. Same thing with Luca Guadagnino or Guadagnino.
But I don't think he wrote that movie.
Oh, he didn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he wrote it. But yeah, while you search it, like I think, it's those. That's kind of what I'm looking for these days. Because when you're like a moviegoer, a regular moviegoer, I feel like you've seen so many things, especially at this point in time, that you can't just make another like Hollywood movie that's satisfies everybody. I think those, like do something fresh, like play with sexuality, show us new angles of sexuality that we haven't seen, right? Like Challengers did that too. Challengers had like I think the biggest thing was the male gaze, like that to me that was the most. I was like, whoa, like
it's from male to female gaze.
We talked about this before, but like the close-ups on the butt of the male characters, and they're sweaty, and this is usually how you see women. And then the female character, who's the dominant, there's only one sex symbol that's female in the film, and she's the main sort of protagonist, antagonist. That's usually a man. So though I like that sort of that new angle that Challengers offers, and same thing with this movie. I Saw the TV Glow. It's a new angle. It's a fresh angle to give us a perspective that how am I going to experience? I'm not like a transgender person. I'm not even part of the queer community. So for me to see that and see it through that lens, it's
Yeah.
just, it's eye opening. It's like, so even if I didn't like the movie, I would still be so happy that I watched it. So
Yes.
yeah, so I want to see more, and that's why I want to see what they are going to make, and I want to see what they made before that you've already seen. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Sorry, I'm gonna keep talking, so I'll stop and I'll let you outro.
Oh, you good? I was actually going to say the writer of Challengers is actually Cecilia Strong's husband. Uh,
Mm,
Cecilia Strong directed Past Lives, last year's Past
mm.
Lives movie. So her husband is the writer of Challengers,
I
which is like
see.
crazy. I'd like to see them work
Yeah,
together, husband and a wife duo.
yeah, that would
One's
be
a
good.
writer, one's a director.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's it for I Saw the TV Glow discussion. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below. Comments if you liked it, hated it, nitpicks. Uh, and we'll be sure to bring you another spoiler discussion for June.
sounds good to me. Can't wait.
All right.
Oh, my one is to sign this off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll catch everybody later. New video this Tuesday.